Mother. Sometimes I think it's the most beautiful word on the lips of humankind. A mother's love is one of the most powerful forces on earth, and it is capable of so much more than religion or even science can explain. This is why when one woman prepared to bury her dead child among the sizable crowd, she alone realized something unbelievable. People find happiness in different things. For some, it could be owning several real estate properties. Others find happiness in the eyes of the partner. But for one woman, Ives Montoya, the only thing that could convince her that the world wasn't a terrible place was a child. It didn't matter if it was a girl or a boy. All she wanted was a child who would make life worth living. Someone she could come home to after the day's struggle and say, "You are the only reason I do all this." You see, while some people can afford to live a very comfortable life and get everything they want just at the tap of a finger, this wasn't the case for Ives. She lived a tough life and struggled to meet her daily needs. Not that she wasn't hardworking, but maybe we are just not born equal. There will always be the haves and the have-nots. This is one fact about life that we can never fight. So, does this mean people like Ives should forego childbearing because they do not have access to certain things? Well, I will say a strong no to that. Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. Rather, it's about learning how to dance in the rain. And Ives was a strong advocate of this. Even though her life was far from beautiful, she knew a child would make it complete. But what she wasn't ready for were the pains, struggles, uncertainties, and tears that also came with motherhood. And soon, this woman would find herself at a crossroads she would never wish upon her worst enemy. After a few months of trying to have a child, the symptoms of pregnancy slowly crept upon her. Hers started with increased urination, fatigue, and morning sickness. Then she took a test one day, and it came out positive. Alas, she was pregnant. That day, she was the happiest woman in the world. For a long time, her smile froze on her face. Her prayer had finally been answered, and she welcomed herself into a new and beautiful phase of her life. But would it really be a beautiful one? As months passed, Ives watched her bump grow beautifully. Each night, she would caress her belly and speak to the unborn baby as if it was sitting just right beside her. She promised to do everything in her power to make the child happy and fulfilled. She also vowed to protect the baby. It was always going to be her and her baby against the world, and there was only one thing she would ever request from the child: to stand by her side always and to stay alive. Before the 9th month, Ives wanted to make sure she had everything to make her baby comfortable when she arrived. So from the little she had, she bought any baby items you can think of. When all was set, she told the baby, "You can come now. I am ready." A few weeks later, Ives went into labor, and she was rushed into the surgery room. You see, the process of giving birth is painful. It starts with the wave of emotions that hits a woman through a period of pregnancy, followed by the pain of labor. Yet childbirth is one of nature's best blessings in life. These are all that clouded Ives's mind as the doctors asked her to push. But none of the pain mattered. It was the price every mother pays. So with one last push that came with an excruciating pain, Ives welcomed a baby girl, Kellen Joanna, into the world. When the doctors placed the little girl on her chest to administer skin to skin, Ives wrapped her arms around the little girl. And that was the happiest moment of her life. Her girl was finally here. "You are home now," Ives said, with a hearty and priceless smile. A few days later, the girl, born with no complications or health problems, was discharged. On getting home, Ives continued to take proper care of her daughter. The little girl grew rapidly and was in perfect condition. This continued until she was 7 months old. By then, all the happiness, joy, and good health they shared vanished in the twinkling of an eye. And all these were replaced with despair, loss, and fear. This catastrophe all started after Joanna contracted a bacterial infection. Ives noticed an odd change in her daughter's behavior. The girl, who used to be very playful, suddenly became quiet. Then, she even refused to eat well and started becoming pale. While the mum was hoping all this would go away with time, little Joanna's condition only worsened. She started having frequent, loose, and watery bowel movements. Then, a few hours later, something very terrifying happened. Joanna's condition went from bad to grave. All of a sudden, blisters appeared on her skin, and she started convulsing. By then, it was clear the home treatment Ives must have administered wasn't doing any good. The girl needed urgent and proper medical attention. Filled with fears and tears, Ivis rushed Joanna to the hospital. On getting there, the infant was reported to be in a critical state, and she was admitted immediately. While the doctors did their best to save the girl child, out there, Ivis felt like her world was coming to an end. How could she finally have everything she ever wanted, and now she was on the verge of losing it? What a cruel world, she thought. She had only spent 7 months with the girl, and the last thing she wanted was to bid her goodbye. Unfortunately, each time Ivis went to see the doctor, they told her the girl's condition was only getting worse, and it seemed like there was no hope for her. Some days later, the doctors called Ivis into his office. When she got in, the moment she looked into the doctor's eyes, she knew little Joanna was gone. And by the time the doctor said, "I'm sorry, we couldn't save her," Ivis didn't even hear him. She was already wailing. It was a painful sight to behold. Afterward, the doctor issued a death certificate. The girl's fragile and tiny body was released to her mother, who took her home in her arms for a candlelight vigil. Some people say there's nothing as special as the unique and unbreakable relationship between a mother and her daughter. Sadly, no matter how beautiful the bond is, it comes to an end too, just like this relationship that ended too early. When this happens, the only thing left to do are to hold on to the memories of the past, and this was the only thing Ivis had. So, during the candlelight vigil, she thought about all the beautiful moments she shared with her baby. After the vigil was over, Joanna was taken to a church in nearby Dos Caminos for a funeral. During the funeral service, the girl's body was placed on a chair, since her mother couldn't afford a coffin. While the rites were on, Ivis didn't take her eyes off her daughter for a moment. Then, some minutes before the service ended, she realized something very frightening. Although Ivis was deeply in tears, she noticed her daughter's chest was moving up and down, as if she was